here at the newsroom of Bixpo 2018. I'm sitting with Arshad Mansoor, EVP of EPRI. Thank you for joining us here today.
My pleasure.
So I'm sure it's not the first time, and I'm sure you have a perfect attendance of all the exhibitions that we've held so far. Have you looked around?
I sure have. The exhibit hall looks absolutely amazing.
So what's your impression about 2018?
Well, I see quite a bit of difference though. Last time I was here, I think 2016, 2 years ago, and first just the number of exhibits. But more importantly, what I see is a more integrated view. And when I say integrated view, it's not just one type of exhibits. You have large companies like Siemens and GE. You have startup companies. You have traditional power systems, but you have IoT, smart grid, blockchain. You have cybersecurity. So it feels like a very integrated view of what KEPCO is calling the energy transition. And I'm seeing that a lot more this year than I saw 2 years ago.
So it's a hole-in-one.
It is a hole-in-one. It is, I call it an integrated view.
Yeah.
And there are many conferences around the world in the US that focus on specific areas, distribute tech, solar. This seems to give a more integrated view of the energy transition that KEPCO is talking about.
So is there any interesting or any booth or exhibits that caught your eye, especially for this year?
Number of them. I think there are exhibits, you can't single one, but it struck me that the number of exhibits talking about artificial intelligence, UAV, unmanned aerial vehicles, IoTs, sensors, and not just talking about them, but real life application of digital technologies for operational efficiency. You have many exhibits that are no longer just exhibiting technology, but they're exhibiting how the technology is helping the energy transition.
So coming into reality.
It is. It's a good way of saying that. What you saw 2 years ago as technology is now being applied in real life. And that's what we do at EPRI, which is bring technology to real life so that you can clearly see the value that digital transformation provides.
Just talking about EPRI, can you give us a slight introduction about EPRI for our viewers of?
Sure. The way we say what EPRI does, why do we do what we do? We shape the future of electricity. But it's not just we, EPRI shapes the future. We shape the future working with 35 countries, more than 300 electric utilities, researchers, scientists at EPRI, at universities, and experts within utilities. And together, we shape the future. And we do that with a very clear focus. And our focus is always on the customers. At the end, electricity is used by the people.
It sure
and
is.
They want reliable, they want safe, they want clean, and that's what we are working on.
So customer-based organization.
Customer-focused organization, working with utilities, working with researchers, so that electricity, over a long term, remains a safe, clean, reliable, and affordable. Electricity cannot be too expensive.
No.
Many people, their life depends on electricity.
Indeed.
So when we bring in new technologies, we got to make sure that we keep control on what the cost is of overall the electricity sector.
Affordable, that is.
Affordability, clean, safe, and reliable. All four are important. And the energy transition has to result in all four being better in the future.
Wow, that's a very nice view on that. As you've been here in the Bixpo for quite a long time, what are some of the aspects that we can enhance to make a better, a more bigger in scale, I guess?
I think scale-wise, no, the one area, and I go back to customers. So customers the next generation, they want choice, they want control, they want convenience, they want to have their own solar,
Yes.
they want to have their storage, they want electric vehicles. So we need to have more customer-focused exhibits. We need to have more customer-focused panel sessions, and we need to have more customers attending Bixpo. So I think that's one area we have opportunities to enhance Bixpo.
Speaking of customer focus, what do you think about 2018 as in with customers?
I think 2018 has a lot of technologies that will help customers, but I think we need to see more customers, more large industries that use electricity, companies that use electricity. We want to see residential customers, their advocates. So we want a more customer focus both in the panels and the plenary session and the exhibits.
Oh, we should definitely apply with that one. So KEPCO's vision is energy transition and
Correct.
digital transformation. Then what is EPRI's vision?
So our vision always remains the same, that we want to make sure electricity remains safe, reliable, affordable, and clean. So to do that, we see a future, what we call the integrated energy network.
Yes.
We think we cannot just think about electricity. We have to look at other sectors of the economy and integrate them. For example, in the future, transportation will be electrified.
Yes.
So now you have a transportation network and an electric network, they're integrated. We see another future where information and digital technology is embedded with the electricity sector.
Yes.
So telecom and electricity becomes more unified, so we call it integrated. If you take a look at even further, we see that we will decarbonize heating, and we may do that with hydrogen or with some other energy form. So electricity becomes the enabler for transportation network, integrating communication network, and that's the vision we call the integrated energy network. But if you look at integrated energy network, and if you say, what is the one thing that will make that happen? It's a digital transformation.
Digital transformation.
So at the end, yes, we call it an integrated energy network, which is the future vision,
Yes.
but the enabler is exactly the same. It's a digital transformation.
Then do you think EPRI's vision and also KEPCO's vision can be aligned?
They are actually, if you look at it, they're perfectly aligned. KEPCO calls it energy transition. We say the future, the energy transition leads to an integrated energy network.
Yes.
And then KEPCO says digital transformation. And we are saying digital transformation enables an integrated energy network. So it's a different way of saying it, but it's actually very much aligned. If you look at one area maybe where we put more focus, which is in US, 20% of energy we use is electricity. 80% of the energy we use is not electricity. It's petroleum, it's natural gas, it's other form. We see a future that will be much more electrified. We see transportation will be electrified. So we see efficient electrification as a key cornerstone of energy transition. So I think that's one piece of electrification is, I would say, not different, but we focus more on efficient electrification than I have seen with the KEPCO's energy transition.
Okay. So what do you think, where do you think Korea is, what status do you think is at an energy industry, global energy industry?
So I see in some areas KEPCO, Korea leapfrogging others.
Oh, okay.
And I think to some extent the digital piece, the sensors, the IoT, the blockchain, I think KEPCO has leapfrogged others. There is some other piece, the customer side, how customers are being enabled to make choice, control, comfort, energy management. I think on that piece, Korea has a lot to also learn from what's happening in California, what's happening in New York, to some extent what's happening in Europe. So I think in the grid piece, KEPCO Korea has leapfrogged. On customer side, I think there are opportunities to learn, and that's why you bring in that's the reason why this is a global event, because you're sharing with the world what KEPCO and Korea has done, but you're also bringing from the world
Yes.
some of the expertise that you see in other places, and you're going to bring in, and that's why Bixpo is so unique, because it's truly a global event, not just an event that is for the Korean manufacturers or KEPCO.
All right, so just before we conclude, is there any opinions or comments that you would like to make to our Bixpo 2018 viewers?
So I think that the viewers is, yes, there are many things Bixpo does that's better than many conferences that we attend, but there's one particular area Bixpo, and not just Bixpo, I think it's Korea, is leapfrogging others, is the hospitality. Nowhere where we go, the hospitality that we see from not just the organizers, from everybody, that is just amazing. So I would say appreciate very much. We thank you for inviting us, and the hospitality that you show to us is just amazing, and we hope to reciprocate that in a conference that EPRI will host, and KEPCO and staff from Korea comes to our conference.
We'll look forward to it. Thank you for sharing your valuable insights with us. So now, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Arshad Mansoor, EVP of EPRI. Thank you.
Thank you.